Sophie. 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 She's a Sophie. And she's... Oh, okay. Well, there goes Sophie. Hold on. Okay, fine. We'll be right coming soon. Bow. Bow. Oh. Bow. I was... Look how close I was. Bow. 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 I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry we're late. But I needed brownies and ice cream, and Sophie needed playing. Sophie, she's protesting the fact that I stopped playing with her by scratching her claws against my DDR pad. But her claws actually got trimmed when she went to the vet. So now she can't climb everything ever. My room is a mess. I'm a mess. I'm starting 10 minutes late. Yeah, the title music is incredible. Honestly, though, I think one could say that the soundtrack in general is incredible. Ah, Sophie's eating dinner. Well, so I made zucchini brownies over the weekend, which are brownies with zucchini in them. They're super moist and rich and delicious. They're not too rich, so I guess they're less rich, but they're moist. They're fudgy. They're good times. I don't usually make it with a glaze, but I decided to for some reason this time. It was a good decision. But then I had a super giant batch. This music seems faster. Maybe because I'm nervous about the fact that I have to do the floating continent today. But, and then I wanted to I had a giant batch of brownies, so I had to deliver them to a bunch of friends. Does your stomach not like zucchini? Because you can't taste the zucchini. It's kind of like, you know, zucchini bread and banana bread are similar. It's delicious. And then I wanted to try some, good ice cream, because apparently Canada has a lot of ice creams that aren't really ice cream, so they'll be like frozen dessert, or they'll say like creamery on the package, but they won't actually like identify what the product inside is, because there's restrictions on what you can actually call ice cream. But I was like, there's got to be some real ice cream that's a brand that I haven't ever had before. So it begins with a K. It's some like local Ontario brand. Anyway, it's really good. I got French vanilla. I would have gotten Moose Tracks if they'd had it at the store, but they didn't. For maximum Canadianness. How is everybody? Other than perhaps not eating chocolate and ice cream that they probably don't need, but are eating anyway, because it's me. Sophie. This is dinner. So I had a really big late lunch. So dessert is dinner. Probably gonna make butterscotch soon to have over the ice cream. Is it just me, or does the continent underneath kind of have like a lettuce look to it? Like it looks like crinkled lettuce. Maybe kale. Alright, Blue Glass is suggesting that I do something to make this slightly less annoying for myself. Should I run from every fight? Do you guys want to see me run from every fight? Hi V-Sim, yes, the fantastic Final Fantasy VI. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can do this. Oh, shoot! Oh, wait! No, we're good, hold on. Hold on. Oh, it's upside down. You briefly had an upside down Sophie moment. Sophie has a collar on because she keeps scratching her ears, and there's nothing wrong with them now, but I think she got in the habit of having itchy ears and scratching them, so we've got the cone on her for a few days to see if maybe she will stop scratching them. But in the meantime, perhaps because she's trying to charm me into taking the cone off her, she has been so cute and so cuddly and so affectionate, like melting into my lap, pawing to climb up all over me, just generally being a precious little baby. But she still likes the window. That's what she does. Her ears are doing okay. We'll see if the fur starts regrowing. They're slightly bald. Anyway. Yes. So, do we prepare to equip? I think somebody already has the one of those. Nope. Okay. Gale hairpin. What does that do? Does that make me more likely to run? Back guard means you can't be attacked that way. What does this one do? Ah, okay, which makes you more likely to get off the first thing. Yeah, no, I agree. Having the back guard is a good idea. I couldn't remember what it was. Oh, there was something I was gonna do. I mean, I suppose I could use a sleeping bag with Sully's. I mean, what else am I going to do with it? How many sleeping bags have I got? Back row. Okay. I've only got 4. Well, that's fine. I'll just need to remember to buy more later. Alright, are you guys ready for this? Has anyone here never seen the floating continent before? Do we have anyone else who is having their first floating continent experience tonight? Cause like, what are you doing, Soph? What are you doing, baby? What do you see out there that's so exciting? Something's very exciting. So this area is infamous. Everybody hates it. I don't think I've ever met a single person who didn't hate it. Oh yeah, I definitely don't want to fight this guy. Oh, look at how fast I ran away. Whoa. Oh yeah, no, the music is really cool and interesting. Oh, can't run away. Can't run away? Okay, fine. Fortunately, Locke's got this. Oh, I guess I should have used, bye-bye. Probably should have tried to use Aura Bolt. Yes, so, for anyone who doesn't know this place, if anyone who's not familiar with the floating continent, it's very challenging. Like, it's hard. Like, fighting is hard. In ways that are nasty. It's also a maze with teleporting. So... Okay, do I want to hit this blue thing? Are there any tricks to this? I don't remember, and I don't want to have to deal with that. I should probably heal my party. I'm really bad about not paying attention to anybody's health. Oh, it's a treasure chest. Thanks, Blue Glass. I remember well. Do you have any magic? Not that I can use right now. Wait. What are you equipped with? Why are you equipped with Bismarck? Somebody else has Seraphim. Well, I mean, I guess you'll get life eventually this way. Who has Seraphim? Why do you have Seraphim? Oh my god, why do you have Seraphim? Because she doesn't have life yet. Okay. Well, as soon as she gets life, we're gonna swap it out. Alright, in the meantime, Sabin, you can be my healer. There we go. A little bit more. Say who? What? No, the name Celes is actually, I believe, pronounced Celes. Because I used to go by the name Selly online, and I was part of a Final Fantasy VI. Oh, this is not good. I was part of a Final Fantasy VI fan community of Final Fantasy VI cosplayers who were Japanese. Yeah. I guess we're just gonna see what happens here. Alright, Shadow. Run, honey, run. Okay. Oh, Seraphim. Okay, so I thought you were talking about Celes. Because I used to go by the name Selly, and my sister and the Japanese fans, because my sister was at the time studying Japanese in college, and so she was translating for us. Because some of them knew some English and she knew some Japanese, and I would just like be like, "Hi, I'm just gonna write it because I can't do this." But they were trying to figure out how to pronounce various names, and they came to the conclusion that Selly and Celes were pronounced basically like very similar. Like, it's just the difference between like Seri and Serisu. So at least I can say that the Japanese fans pronounce it that way. But some people get on my case because they think it shouldn't be Celes. But it is Celes. I just also have always said it. There are some names that I've been saying wrong that I've always said wrong. I'll either deal with it or I won't. But that one is not wrong. Seraphim. Oh, Seraphim. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, that sounds like a good sword. Who can I equip that on? You! No, we don't want that. No. Okay, well, I guess it's not a good sword. Jeez. How do we get to, I don't remember how to get to there. Behemoths. Man. I think behemoths are super cool. Like, they're super cool. But I don't want to fight them. So in Final Fantasy IV, there is a battle not a battle, a place in the final dungeon. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Why am I doing this? I don't know. Does it matter where I go or what I do? Am I gonna miss anything good from a treasure chest here that I'm gonna regret for the rest of the game enough to be worth caring about what happens here? Savin's just like, peace out everybody else. Oh no! Run everybody, run! Does that mean Savin's the youngest party member? I was saying something and I've forgotten what it was. Oh, yes, in Final Fantasy IV, there is, in the final dungeon, this one room, this one section that's really hard. Like, every single encounter plays a boss battle theme. Oh, I should probably heal my party, shouldn't I? I don't do that when I should. That's it, give everybody sunglasses. See if we care. We don't care. We are unfazed by your sunglasses or your giant ears. Oops. All right. Really, you're the only one who needs it. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. We got this. Oh, so just so you know, which one of these do I want to go through? Do I care enough to walk through? Did I just come from here? No. I don't know. Too bad. Too bad. By the way, don't jump on the ship. You have to do the whole thing over again. You don't want that. Come on! Come on, blonde squad! Huh. So this is actually one of the most, like, significant moments in the game. Like, the floating continent is a very big deal. And it is a steep increase in difficulty. And part of that is... Did I... What? No. Oh, whatever. I don't care. So part of what makes it so challenging is that the monsters are obviously very, very hard. Like, fighting them is hard. But also... Oh, I did that wrong. Oh well. I do want to go down blue glass. Okay, thank you. Oh, geez. Okay. Yeah. Bye. Block's the only one doing any actual damage because he's the only one in the front row. Or not in the front row, who has the ability to just do real damage from the back row. No, don't set me on fire. No! Okay. Alright, we did it. Okay. Well, the good news is that Sully's learned life. I healed a little bit last time. Yeah, the bosses are hard. The regular combat is really hard. It's a maze. It's a complicated maze that's difficult to keep track of in a way that most maze-like dungeons aren't. So it's a grind. The floating continent will kill you. Like, if you don't know what you're doing going into it, you will die repeatedly and probably get really mad because it's been a while since you saved because it's an old school RPG from the Super Nintendo era. But it does kind of reinforce how significant the stakes are at this point. And at this point, you kind of think to yourself, you know, the bad guys keep, you know, Kefka keeps showing up and wrecking stuff. They just killed Leo. Like, things are serious. Don't let me forget to heal. Lauren, heal the party. I'm so cheap. But so like Kefka keeps showing up and wrecking things. Leo's died. But as a child playing through this game for the first time, you're like, oh, this is when things get serious. But here we're gonna go to the floating continent once and for all. We're gonna show these bad guys what's up. Which is not how it goes. Spoiler. Wait, hold on. Yes, you are no longer gonna have Seraphim. Who do you need? And then stuff happens. Yeah, but like making you go through this, it kind of sort of, it feels a little bit final dungeon-y. Which would make it relatively a short game, but, you know, not entirely, like the norms hadn't fully been established. Okay, let's go with this. Are we gonna be fighting a Titan or something soon? Does anyone have float? Maybe? Probably? Possibly? I don't know. Who teaches float? Oh, yes, there we go. She has float. Oh, does he? Okay, well, that's good to know. Thank you, Blue Glass. Boy, you'd be sad otherwise. No, I totally have float. Celia's totally has float. We just found that. Okay, so as great as Bismarck is, we're gonna switch you over here so you can become useful. Yes! It is the role of people who are not useful to be the people that you heal with outside of combat. So Sabin's portrait always made me think of my mom. Like, he looks like he could be related to my mom. She has a very distinctive profile, which I do not have. Like, I look a lot like her this way, but from the profile I don't. What was I doing? Down. We're gonna go down. I was changing Seraphim. Down? Oh! Oh, right! Okay. Bye. Bye. But so it kind of has this final dungeon feel, you know? It has unique music. Oh, that doesn't sound good. I don't like that. Fortunately, I've done no damage to him, so I'm fine. At least I think that's what revenge is. But so it has this unique music. It has this unique, like, visual graphical style. It feels super epic. You see the world floating beneath you. Very cool stuff, you know? Like, whoa. Let me know if I go past a save point by accident, though. Because I know there's one somewhere. Do I want to go through that? Or is that just gonna draw it out longer? Oh, this is a treasure chest. Let's go get it. It's gonna be like a monster in a box. No! Oh, is this one of the ones that raises your HP? Sabin, you're low level. Top right of the area. Thank you, Blue Glass. Yeah, I vaguely remember there being a monster in the box here, but I do not remember anything beyond the fact that I think it exists. Bye. I don't even know what this guy is. He looks kind of like a chimera, but like Greek mythology chimera. Oh, good. Okay, so I don't have to worry about the monster in a box. Cool. Hey! Who just found a save point? It's me. Yay! Go team! I don't think I need a sleeping bag or anything. I don't think I need a tent. Do I look like I need a tent? See, John, it's not a question of how evil Kefka is, because I don't think that the Emperor thinks of that as like an evilness thing. I think it's mostly that, like, Kefka doesn't really have a rational or logical motivation for turning on Gestalt. And so Gestalt not really realizing that that's not what, that you can't judge Kefka's actions based on that. I think he doesn't see it coming because there's no reason for Kefka to do it. Except that Kefka's completely nuts. Yeah. I think there is another save. I think you're right, Blue Glass. I don't think I need a sleeping bag. I certainly don't think I need a tent. So we're gonna just like go. Like what are we flying up on? I don't know. We don't know. None of us know. We're gonna... I was gonna say we're gonna celebrate when we're done with this area. You don't really celebrate being done with the floating continent. It's not really a celebratory experience. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it made it over in our translation. But there is, like, Kefka went crazy because maybe we'll see what Sid says on the solitary island. But, like, Kefka went crazy because experiments were done on him. No, Shadow, no. She's a sleeping bag in the middle. Is there a thing that makes this stop? Maybe? I mean, fortunately, it's not actually doing any harm to him. Really. Yeah, I'm trying to run. So we're just gonna see Shadow. Yeah, I haven't done any damage to you guys. I swear several of them have a thing where they do the amount of damage based on how much damage you've done to them. Guess I should probably heal him. Sabin is currently my, he's not doing anything else with that magic person. Oh, maybe I'll give you float, although you probably won't be using it. What else do I have for you? But the thing is, like, Kefka going crazy because mad science was done on him doesn't really affect how you would react to him. Kefka's not gonna get saved. He's just not. Like, he's just not. He's not a character that you can reason with. He's not a character that you can get on the good side of. He's not a character that you can redeem in any way. Like, so it's kind of like knowing what created it is interesting, but it doesn't in any way either excuse his behavior or give context for ways to change one's reaction to his behavior. Hold on. So I'm like trying to talk to you guys and think through what I'm doing, and I'm having a hard time with that. Or so something that's really interesting, because it is what it is. Like, that's, I think, an interesting point. So I don't know if you've played Suikoden 2, which is one of my favorite games of all time. Maybe we should play Lauren Plays Suikoden 2 at some point. So we have to play Suikoden 1, unless you guys want me to sit there and talk to you about what you missed in Suikoden 1 to give context to Suikoden 2. Because Suikoden 1 is the prequel to Suikoden 2. But there is a character in Suikoden 2, Luca Blight, who is the scariest bad guy, like, ever. And part of what makes him so scary is that, by and large, like, okay, so here, everything is bigger and larger than life. It's this, like, huge dramatic opera that we're seeing play out in Final Fantasy VI. And so it's, like, these huge personalities and these, like, huge conflicts that are, like, on an epic scale. And And so it kind of like, you know, you're fighting the ultimate evil and the destiny of the universe and all stuff. It's this really big, high-stakes stuff. Whereas the Suikoden series, if you're not familiar with the Suikoden series, it is all about the human cost of war. So it's very, very human. And the characters in it are human, and the stakes are human, and the scales are human. There are some larger things moving, and they like kind of like influence events, but the stories themselves and the world themselves, like, it's all very normal human level of things. And then enter Luca Blight, who is this like terrifying, unstoppable, like demonic seeming soldier. And in another game, in another setting where everyone is larger than life, he would just, I think, kind of blend in a bit more. Be like, oh, this is a particularly well done example of the archetype that he is. But because you just imagine him in the context of where he's surrounded by normal people, and it makes it so much more effective. And what's interesting about Luca Blight is that he does actually feel love. And he does actually have a reason why he is the way he is, kind of. And he has this weird, twisted sort of love with some of the characters in the game. But he is like this like absolutely horrifying, terrifying, appalling person. Again, there's no redemption for Luca Blight. But he's a monster who was made. Because so many monsters are made, and it's more interesting for monsters to be made than born, I think, if they're supposed to be human. But like, imagine Kafka in an ordinary story with ordinary people. How incredibly shocking he would be. Because he's fairly shocking in this game. But if you put like the scales, if the scales were smaller, and like the entire conflict was like, you know, this country versus this country, they're having civil war, or they're having a regional war or something like that. And that's it. Like if we like never got outside of like Figaro versus Narsh or something like that, and like the entire game took place in Figaro and Narsh, and then you have this character of Kefka, it would be a completely different experience. And I think that's really interesting. The Final Fantasy series has always been very enormous in its scale. No, I don't think any Final Fantasy ever has been on a small scale of like a single country. Maybe Final Fantasy 12, which I haven't played, but I've been told it's the more political one. It's an Ivalice, right? Ivalice is like, they're like, we wanted to make something weird and political, so we set it there. Setting. I've thought about giving Final Fantasy Tactics a try. No, but the thing is, Kefka wouldn't even be an evil king. Like, the sheer, like, just, it would be a very strange thing to have a character quite like that outside of something on this scale, I think. Okay, no, you're gonna keep that. Okay. I do like melodrama and tragedy, so. No. No? No. I do not wish to return, thanks. Greek tragedies and Shakespearean tragedies are different. Oh, so I do want to go down through here? Okay. Thank you, Chrono. Ah. Okay. I thought there was a save point before this. Did I miss it? I mean, not like it really matters. Yeah, no, it's not very well telegraphed. Wandering around here. Oh, I did just save. You're right. Never mind. I talked a lot and it gave me this like false impression of how much time has passed in game. All right. All right. Let's heal everybody. Oh, Shadow. I forgot you got stuck there a couple of times, buddy. I'm sorry. Okay, does float start outside? Oh man, is there anyone here who hasn't seen Final Fantasy VI before? Is there anyone here who's not like intimately familiar with like the music and the game and this stuff? Because we're about to fight Atma Weapon. And if you don't know, it's really good music, you see. Really good music. Okay, float. 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 Alright, we've all got wings. It's on the map, which doesn't usually happen in this game. Do I want to switch people not in the back row now? Probably. Probably put Celes in the front row so she can do damage. Or is she going to be casting spells? I'm trying to remember. My general policy is just do maximum physical damage as fast as humanly possible. Oh, Shadow doesn't have heal, does he? Oh, that's not good. What are you going to do, buddy? What are you gonna do? Yeah, no, Salmon's fine in the back row and Locke is fine in the back row. Hold on, I'm gonna change Shadow's relics. Because these aren't gonna be relevant right now. Such good music. Okay, what did I have on him? Do I want this? This made me think that maybe he was her sister or her brother, but he's not. Mean verse. I mean, failing all else, he can just have regen. He can't heal though, so make him a dragoon. How's that sound? Should we make him a dragoon? Is that an idea? Is that an idea? Is a dragoon an idea? Should we do that? I don't think I've ever made anyone dragoon in this game, ever. Man, there's dragoons in Final Fantasy XIV and they're cool. Yeah, we'll just do that. Let's do it. Why not? Okay. Let's do it, folks. You ready? We're gonna do it. I've played that on flute, by the way. Those little blah 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 blah. Ancients as the cosmos. Okay. This is a good flute song. Do I want fire dance? Probably not, but I can actually do fire dance. Okay, Celes, you're gonna be my healer. Yes, this is Ultima Weapon. I should probably go ahead and learn to use Aura Bolt. See, this is why we sit with her as... Okay, let's see if this works. Let's see if this works. Does it work? Does it work? Does it work? Nope, it doesn't! That's why we've been doing Fire Dance. Okay, just like... cure everybody. I don't know if I even need Cure 2, but... Okay. It's... Hold on. It's down, down, up. Or down, down, left, right? Supposedly. Right? I think it is. I literally don't know why it doesn't work. Oh, that was the wrong one, actually. Probably should have used Cure 2. That's okay. See, I literally don't know why that happens. I have no idea why it happens. Please don't kill him. Okay, you didn't kill him. Good. Oh no, not animal tested. I'm sorry about your sink. Okay, so we're just gonna do Fire Dance. Why can't I do Aura Bolt? Oh geez, okay. Literally no idea why that keeps happening. Oh no. Let's see if that works. Please don't die. Oh man. She's having a hard time keeping up with the healing. Yeah, so we're just gonna go back to Fire Dance because it's the only one I can consistently do. That's not what I meant. Well, that's okay. She could use it more than anyone else. Okay, you're just gonna cure the party too because you're not doing any damage anyway. Exactly, Blue Glass. Hi, Karsten. Good morning, I suppose. Oh, I'm out of magic. That's not good. Okay, well, you're gonna heal the party. And, oh, this is it. We're gonna die. You guys ready? Somebody's still gotta do damage. Okay, hold on. Is it elixir that I want? Is that elixir? What's the thing that gives magic back? You would think I would remember this stuff, but I don't remember this stuff. You know, the music here is fantastic. Ether. Okay. Ah, thank you. Strategy. So the secret behind the floating continent is that you can't try to worry about magic or weaknesses or strategy. You just gotta do as much damage as you possibly can with physical attacks as much as you can. Like, the reason why this happens is because Shadow and Shadow and Locke just kept doing big damage. I don't even know if Shadow was doing much damage, but he was doing some damage. And Locke was just dual wielding at it. It's the thing that made it, because Sabin didn't do any damage half of his turns because I can't seem to Aura Bolt. I thought there was a save past this. Oh, because of the timing. Yeah. Okay, got it. Okay. Oh, shoot. He had my thing to run away better. I should heal my party. I'm gonna heal my party now. Okay. Alright, Locke, you've got some magic. You do it. Alright, that should get us there. Nope. Alright, let's see if I can figure it out. Hi, Tanshi. It's down here, right? This is it right here. Really is just down the road. The road. Just down the road. So part of why we're saving here is because in case I do something wrong with getting away and Shadow, we don't want Shadow to die, because that would be really bad. You know what, folks? You have earned a tent. Even my cheap self. Oh, he has a crown on it! His has a crown, I think. Do he and Edgar both have crowns on theirs because they are technically king/prince? They're royalty. I love the music in this game so much. No! No, don't you dare. No, not my boy, no! So yeah, Final Fantasy VI, folks. It's a game. And I like it a lot. So I think... Yeah, Karsten, I think it's a very cute detail. Like the fact that Terra's has a bow. What does Celis' have on it? Does Locke's have anything? Or is it just that the colors are different? Run! Run! My shoulder buttons are not very happy. The fact that you have to do that every time is frustrating. I did save. I saved twice. I used a tent and then I saved. They're like, hey, do you want to go back to the airship? And I'm like, no. It is nice of them to make it so in case you rush through it, you don't accidentally leave. Like, that's why they have the no and the yes. Reversed from what you usually have in games. Okay, let us go. Oh, I can't. Okay. Set these guys on fire. You don't actually set them on fire. You actually... Oh, God. Okay, well, apparently you don't set them on fire because... No! Aha! Take that, you jerk. Oh no, he just invised. These guys are mean. Oh, I should probably heal my party, shouldn't I? Let's do that. Why am I failing at Fire Dance? That's the only one I usually have. I don't know why I'm so bad at this, but I am. Okay, I need to heal my party again. Alright, good job, team. Oh, I should probably change up my spells. Oh, there's so many many things to juggle, but I'm not good at it. Okay, so I think you've mastered. Yeah. No, you haven't. Oh. No, Okay, well, we're still working on all that stuff, so... Oh, wait, no, heal. Heal. I was gonna heal the party. Heal the party. Heal the party. Okay, Unlock has so much health. How did that happen? Aha! And so again, like, you're thinking, you know, this is... this feels really endgamey. You know, we just went through this custom dungeon that's unlike anything else. It's super dramatic feeling. We are high above the world, and like the graphics really, I mean, you see the world below, which really reinforces, like with like these like different layers, like you're above the clouds and stuff. You're like, whoa, this is so cool. I've never seen anything like this before. This is the most epic experience ever. So amazing. We're gonna go and we're gonna stop the bad guys from doing this and save the world. Because it really does feel that way. Oh, very nice, Karsten. I haven't gotten to anything related to Gestalt in 14. I finally got an Alpha No minion, so I'm at the beginning of Heavensward, so no spoilers. But yeah, also like the bad guys keep getting ahead, and so it feels kind of like you're in, like, it's time for you to have a win, you know, like you keep having this thing where they keep stabbing you in the back and things keep going wrong, but you're like, okay, we try to do something and then it goes wrong. We try to do something, they betray us. We try to do something, they show up. Like, okay, but this time, after having a series of things go wrong that way, this is the time we're gonna win. That was just to raise the dramatic stakes. There's no way, like, if these statues are as big and important as they say they are, if they're the source of all magic in the world, oh, I never use magic, John. I only use magic if I absolutely have to in combat. So here's Celis having a super cool moment because again, as we keep saying over and over and over again, this is very much Celis' story, at least as much as it is Terra's story. Because she has such interesting, like, growth and development here. And that's true, Karsten, yeah, because you couldn't be like, but there's an entire half of the game remaining. How does it feel like the end of the game when this is only disc 1 out of 3 or whatever? Yes, this is Ted Woolsey thinking he's funny and putting a Wizard of Oz reference, which I've actually never seen. But I did see The Wiz because that was the free musical last weekend. It was really good. Really good. You were given life to serve me. That gets really morally uncomfortable, but it's Gestalt, so a lot of him is morally uncomfortable, really. Oh, Kefka. Woof, 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 woof. I love Celis. She's so great. And you're like, no, there's no way. There's no way. No, there's no way. Like, again, putting yourself in the mindset of somebody who's never played this game or seen this game before. Like, you're like, she just took the sword. There's no way. No, Celis, no, she would. And it challenges you to trust her because she said before, like, you can trust me, and they tried doing this whole sort of thing, and she was like, oh my god, I can't believe you doubted me. And so this is kind of like you trusting her, and hopefully you do. And then you're like, oh, is she gonna hurt herself? No, that comes later. Yeah, well, okay, so Final Fantasy IV had a Cain kind of bouncing around like a tennis ball between sides. So it's not like unprecedented to have a party member betray you. But oh, really, Blue Glass? So you could screw yourself over? Or do you need... No. No, because you don't have to have Sabin... Or Shadow. Shadow can just get on the thing. He doesn't have to join your party, right? Celis is so cool. She's so cool! How is she not the most popular character in the game with everyone? How cool is that? How cool is that? She's like, just like imagine if this were like an anime, or like if they were gonna do like Final Fantasy VI Remake, like they did Final Fantasy VII Remake, to have her like holding the sword, looking at the sword, her back to the bad guys, her friends like wounded off to the side, and her like looking dramatically at the sword and being like, power only breeds war, and like having such a cool thing to say. And then she just turns around and just stabs Kefka. Like, how cool is that? It's really cool. It is so cool that yeah. It's so cool. She's the coolest character in the game. She's one of the coolest characters ever. She's so cool. Why don't I just draw pictures of Celis all the time? Sometimes draw her kissing Locke, but also just being cool otherwise. Just like fill sketchbooks up. I think that I should make like a GeoCities or Angel Fire shrine to Celis and have all sorts of fan art and have it play a MIDI of Celis' theme when it loads. Oh man, anyone who's younger than me probably doesn't understand that reference. It's very funny, guys. It's very funny. Ah, the days of character shrines on the internet. It just meant that it was a website that was devoted to that character, that's all. Yeah, we could have... Oh man, I definitely visited a lot of those things. Yeah, man, I did have a big under construction banner that I drew myself on a version of my art website that I had back in like high school. You can still find some of the stuff in my old sites and stuff on the Wayback Machine. Whew, yeah. Anyway, Celis is cool. Like, legitimately, she's a really interesting character, and she's like a central figure in the story, and I just want to write her. Square Enix, do you hear me? Square Enix, you need to make Final Fantasy VI Remake and hire me to write it. I'll collaborate with you other people, that's fine. But you should hire me. I almost had my day in the sun working on Project Esper, but unfortunately, licensing adaptations is really tricky because it's not a straight cover, so then you start getting into really messy stuff. So I'm pretty sure that there's an official like novelization of this game that only ever appeared in Japan, that I think, like, wasn't Kafka just like some dude, like some soldier like in his 30s, and they did an experiment on him and his brain broke? Oh yeah, no, I mean, Square Enix is probably never gonna see this stream, but if they did, if somebody at Square Enix is like, I need to keep an eye on what the fans are doing, who's that Lauren the Flute Girl, what's she doing on her stream, they should hire me to write Final Fantasy VI, the epic saga of Celis, and Terra can come too. But only Celes gets to kiss Locke. The legend. Don't you guys want to see that? Oh my god. I could write some really dumb Final Fantasy VI fanfic. Yeah, Rezo? If that's the right way to say your name. Yeah, no, he goes crazy because of magicite in his brain. Final Fantasy VIII is super unpopular, though. I would think almost any Final Fantasy would get a remake before 8. 10 doesn't really need a remake. I'd love to see a remake of 9. That'd be interesting. It really? Okay, well, it remains unpopular, or at least it feels very niche among Final Fantasy fans. Interesting. Yeah. Oh, 4. My sister has bought every single version of 4 that has ever come out. Kefka is just standing here losing his mind. He's being the... There's the anime trope of the bad guy who licks the knife. And then sometimes it's like, oh, there's blood on my pretty face. You know the type. If you are of the age to recognize my reference to GeoCities character shrines, then you know that, because that's a 90s anime stereotype right there. I actually know a couple of people who like 13, but there aren't very many of them. Which I think 13 is like the Nomura Final Fantasy before 15. And basically I don't like Nomura. So thank you, Blue Glass. I'm glad to know that my take on Final Fantasy VI will be immortalized for all time. I do want to play 15. I've heard it's a very mixed experience, but I'm very curious about it. I've also been thinking about playing 12. Vicious brat is such an interesting insult. And you're like, oh, she just killed him. This is gonna be okay. You know, you're like, no, this is all right. Yeah, Celes, you tell him. And then this is the time when she then heals my party, and they stand up, and then we have our final showdown with Gestalt. That's what's gonna happen here. She killed Kefka, and now we're gonna have our final showdown with the Emperor, and then we're gonna save the day, and everything's gonna go back to normal and be okay. Is that Fee? Where is... Oh, there she is. Okay. Oh, hi, Robbie. I'm fangirling about this game because it's so good and deserves to be fangirled about. Also, just this as an interesting false ending. Suikoden does an interesting job with false endings, too. Should we do Suikoden after this? Should we continue the, tradition of Lauren playing games she's already played before and just kind of talking about them a lot? Because the kind of funny and embarrassing thing about the Suikoden series is that I played in an extremely good Suikoden tabletop role-playing game that my ex-husband ran, and he was very, very good. And so sometimes I get that confused with actual canon. So I'll be like, oh, the thing! It's like, no, that didn't actually happen in any of the actual numbered Suikodens, Lauren. Like, oh. Okay. Okay, so Suikoden 2 is better, but Suikoden 1 is a good prequel to Suikoden 2, and I think it's short. Otherwise, I'd have to tell you everything you have to know about it and I don't know how well I remember it, because my memory is terrible, even though I should know the Suikoden games really well. Okay, yeah, maybe we can blast through Suikoden 1 and then dig into Suikoden 2 and have a lot. As long as you guys are okay with the fact that you're going to hear all about my trip to Tokyo and the Suikoden 2 concert I got to hang out backstage at and shake hands with the man who made Suikoden. As long as you can live with that. I'm sorry. That was a life-changing experience, and I'm just having a moment here. Sorry, Final Fantasy VI. I love you too. But I also have a deep and abiding love for the Suikoden series. They've been very, very, very important to various... So the thing is, okay, so Final Fantasy VI was a formative experience for me in my youth, as we have looked through the sketchbook evidence of Lauren, of 20-something years of Lauren drawing Locke and Sully's need to kiss. Final Fantasy VI shaped me, and I had some formative experiences because of it. Suikoden found me friends, some of whom I'm still friends with to this day. It was like a bonding experience with my now ex-husband and some of our group of friends. Like, Suikoden ran more through the events of my life and relationships in my life than Final Fantasy VI did, because I was so young when I played Final Fantasy VI that it was this incredibly powerful, formative experience for me and my sister. But it didn't hit at the same point. I was younger when it came out. Oh man. Yeah, no, I think Suikoden 1 is like 30 hours. So, yeah. Okay, look. Do I just write a Final Fantasy VI fanfic? I've been stuck on writing for so long. Do I just write Final Fantasy VI the fanfic? Why? Why would I do that? Why am I entertaining this thought? I've written 3 pieces of fanfic in my life, if you don't count my play-by-post chapter-based RPGs that I was in. But not counting that, which was, go figure, Final Fantasy and the Suikoden series. But I wrote a piece of Sailor Moon fanfic an extremely long time ago. Way back when. And then I wrote, I was trying to turn every single key Locke and Sully's scene into prose using the original dialogue from the game and then kind of writing around it. And then I wrote a piece of Phantasy Star 4 fanfic, which you can still find. It is still on the internet. It's the only piece of fanfiction written by Lauren you can find on the internet, but it's there. And I think that's it. I don't think I wrote any other fanfic ever. No, I did write some stories that were kind of set in Fantastica or Fantasia from the Neverending Story, the book. But because of the way that is, it's not really fanfic. It's complicated. But otherwise, yeah, that's literally the only fanfic I've ever written. I don't think I ever wrote any more. It's like being a writer and a fan. I wasn't really involved in many fandoms. I was in the Suikoden fandom. I was a somebody in the Suikoden fandom, sort of. Which you'll hear all about if we do Suikoden stuff. Anyway, yeah. You want to do Final Fantasy VI fanfic? You want me to write Final Fantasy VI fanfic? Should we do that? Should I do that? Maybe. So the thing is, I've been stuck with writing for 2.5 years now. And part of the problem has been that I put so much pressure on trying to write a thing that is good. And I need to write a thing that I don't care if it's good or not. And I actually feel like fanfic is not a bad answer. Because it's not going to get published anyway, so it doesn't have to try to hit what an audience wants in the same way. That's true. Dante's Inferno is... Well, no, Dante's Inferno isn't really fanfiction. Paradise Lost is fanfiction. Paradise Lost is fanfiction. Good job, Milton. He was like, you know what this needs? It needs Angel Boy kissing. Angel Boy's kissing. You're like, okay, Milton. You do that. And he's like, I will. I feel like Dante's Inferno is less fanficky than Paradise Lost. And then he puts all the people he doesn't like in hell, and then he goes up to heaven. And, like, his cousin that he was creepily, obsessively in love with, who told him to stop stalking her, he was like, oh, well, she died, so now she's in heaven, and she's gonna love me now in my story. Yeah. I don't see Kafka kissing Gestalt is just really not my thing. No, it's gonna be Locke and Sully's kissing. Look, they're my ship, okay? They're my OTP. I may otherwise just want to draw girls kissing, but I will draw those two kissing too, because I like them. I'm sorry if you guys are having, like, spikes in the audio. I'm just having feelings. He's got shaggy hair. Anyway, so Kefka's really mad, and I'm not taking him seriously because I'm thinking about writing fan fiction of the heroes kissing instead of him. Which is not what Kefka wants. Kefka wants attention. And I'm not giving it to him, so he's just gonna wreck the world like a puppy. He's just gonna go pee all over the floor. Alright. See, crack pairings are not my thing. Although I have occasionally seen someone take a really weird out there pairing and write. There was one that was, I think it was Setzer Terra that somebody suggested as a crack pairing, and I read it. It was actually really good. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, Deep Shock. Oh. Yeah, this does kind of feel like 2020. Right here. It kind of was for the time, Chrono. Within the Phantom it was. It's not like full crack pairing, it's just kind of like a somebody challenges you. There was this really good Castlevania fanfic that I read. And I've never been able to find it since, but it was super long and really good and had some girl who fell in love with Alucard, and it wasn't terrible. Oh man, okay. Anyway. Sorry, Kefka, we're shipping everyone instead of talking and listening to you. And Gestalt is like, hold on, this is too crazy. Like, he, like, thinks that Kefka is gonna be crazy in the areas that he wants Kefka to be crazy. Little does he realize that, like, having this crazy, unpredictable, unhinged guy who makes no logical sense and no logical decisions. Like, you can't control that, and you can't count on that to do what you want. It's not gonna happen. Emulator. The emulator had fun with that. Gestalt's like, what are you doing? And Kefka's like, yes, I am crazy. Thank you for finally noticing what everybody else in the world has seen before. This is very, like, large, epic scale. It's an opera. And then Gestalt thinks he can control or stop Kefka here. What do you think is going to happen here? Kefka's like, you don't get it, do you, old man? So going to sleep, I assume, means that he's saying he's going to kill him. Yeah, I'm very early in Heaven's Word still. I'm hanging around in the Chocobo Forest with a band of unlikely friends. Putting him to sleep. You're gonna go to sleep laughing. He's standing by the statues. I love Kefka pantomiming like, like it's so hilarious. Gestalt's like, what's happening? I think Merton is supposed to be Meteo. I mean, to be fair, Squizgar, Kefka is threatening to destroy the world, and Gestalt wants to rule the world, so he's trying to save the world. Oh, Merton meltdown, obviously, yes. He just kicks him. Show this old man your true power. Gestalt's like, oh no, don't do this. And Kefka's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it. And Gestalt's like, no, you're not. And Kefka's like, oh yeah. This is the best thing that has ever happened. He just like yells at them. This is not... Oh, this is a good line right here. This is very iconic, memorable. Good job. Good job to Ted Woolsey. But yeah, like as a kid, you're just like, this is not what I would have expected. None of this is what I would have expected. And he's dead. He got struck by lightning. He's not dead, but he's basically dead. He just kills him. Right there. He's dead. And Sully's just like trying to stop this. I think he's just plain dead on the deadness scale. Oh, has anyone not seen the deadness scale? Hold on. In case you haven't seen the deadness scale. Lauren's scale of deadness. This is something we came up with. Oh, I didn't realize I was off camera. Sorry. We came up with this during Dark Souls, because if you played Dark Souls, there's different ways of being dead in Dark Souls. So there you go. Okay. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that Gestalt is just dead, 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 straight up. So yeah, that's our death scale. We will bring it up in various games because it becomes relevant more often than one might think. They'll go haywire. Such interesting word choices. And Kefka's just like having a great time here. He's just like moving them just at random. He's like, sure, let's just like move everything, do everything. What do I care? And Shadow's like, I'm not actually evil, even though I'm going to tell you I am. Shadow is trying to fix it. Oh no, he traps Kefka under it. That's what he just did. I don't think I ever realized that. Oh, you know, Ted Woolsey did his best. Look at the world. Look at that. Look at everything just goes dark. Okay. Oh man. Okay. I'm trying to remember. Darn it. Okay, fine. Yeah, I knew this was gonna... Hope you weren't planning on doing anything with that. I wasn't. I don't care. One of these days, I will be able to Aura Bolt, but today is not that day. Oh no! He's the only one who can do reliable amounts of damage! The worst. I set you on fire, you naughty, naughty. Well, that worked. That's good. I don't care that much about Mega Elixirs, so... This is very dramatic, and as a kid you're like, what just happened? Like, is the Emperor dead? Did Kefka really do this? Is this real? Did this actually happen? Like, did this game actually go there? And the answer is yes, the game did go there. Oh, did I do it wrong? Oh, I did, didn't I? Well, whatever. Ah! No! Oh, yeah, No, okay, well, it's fine. She'll be fine. Oh my gosh. I would be happy to introduce this game to somebody who'd never played it before. Oh, I should... Hold on. That's a boss, right? That's a boss. Alright. It's an escapee from Cats the Musical. Yes. Cool. We're just gonna do as much damage as we possibly can. Isn't that the name of somebody from Homestuck? Oh, that didn't work. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we wait. So we're just gonna hang out here. Wow, that was not hard. So it turns out things are not nearly as hard. See, I was making a funny joke because I was saying that it looked like somebody from Cats the Musical, and also the name sounds like something from Homestuck. Yeah, so it turns out things aren't as hard. Try it again. What do you mean, Chrono? Gotta wait for Shadow. Okay. I remember this being very, very stressful when I was a kid. Oh yeah, no kid knows to wait for Shadow. But if you like say no and then you come back and it says gotta wait for Shadow, then you're like, oh. I have not seen Cats the Musical, the movie. I've only seen Cats the Musical. So. Do I have time? We're gonna do this really quickly, and then we're gonna switch back to the game, but there you go. There's your Sophie. She's a good kitty. He's gonna show up, right? Did I do it wrong? Here we go. Okay. 5 seconds, Chrono. He shows up at the last 5 seconds. Diffuse. I don't know if that's quite what they mean, but yeah, you're like, oh, this doesn't look good. Those little things are going down to the world below us. And they're like, hey, if you didn't yet get the memo that this is bad, you're actually seeing the world being destroyed. Here's a bunch of soldiers on both sides. Those guys are not okay. They just got smashed. There was an imp for some reason. You know, like as a kid, not knowing what was happening, not knowing what to expect. Like this was just like completely, and you're just like, wait, no. Like you're like, this can't be what I think is happening. Like what just, my party, my ship, where am I gonna be? What's happening? And they're like, yeah, so then the whole world, like, here's a continent splitting in half in case you didn't get the memo that this is a really big deal. You know? There you go, Karsten. That's actually what I was thinking too. But like as a kid, like you're just like sitting like at the edge of your seat, like just like shaking with like your mouth like open, like just like, what just happened? There is no way. There is no way. There is no way. And then it has that. And then this is the same exact sound as the beginning of the game. The wind. Oh, Sid's gonna die. It's the better story. And then you look at this and you're just like, hold up, what? Like the colors are amazing. Yes, Sid is gonna die because that's the canonical thing. That's what happens. That's what makes the most sense story-wise. Yeah, no, it's the scene, because you don't get the scene where she jumps if you save Sid. It's just kind of like, oh, everything's cool. Whereas if you get the scene where she jumps, it's this beautiful parallel. The opera scene, like, the two look very similar. Musically, it kind of ties in together. You have this feeling of absolute despair, like your character falls to the absolute lowest of the lowest of the low. And then we get that moment of hope. And that's... Sully's story is one of finding hope. Because, like, it's very hard as a kid to not let him die because you don't know what it takes to save him. Like, you're canonically, like, that's the ending, that's the way the story is kind of meant to go. It's much more interesting. It's a much more cohesive narrative experience, and it's a much better emotional arc than just like, oh, I guess everything's fine now. Sully's at last. Sully's at last. It's a pretty long time. I like that the bed has a B on it for bed. See, Locke is the one she asks about first. Like I said, I can understand people who don't like them as a couple. That's fine. They're wrong, but okay. But people who try to argue that it's not canonical, because I've had that conversation before. I mean, it's literally what happens in the game. It's not ambiguous. You can dislike it, but you can't deny it. Passed away of boredom and despair. When you're a kid, you're like, ah, yes. You can just be sad to death, and you just like, or you're too bored, and therefore you just like turn off. That's what it is. And this is just such a sweet little moment. Because she's never had a family, and he's never had a family, and he had a hand in raising her. That's just such a cute little thing to say. Yeah, no, I feel bad doing it. I do, and I'm sorry. It's just, like... They have a cute little moment, and it's very cute, but... I mean, like, we can, if you guys really want, we can save Sid. If you really want. Like, do you really want to save Sid? I find it to be a much more satisfying experience, story-wise, not to save him. But if everybody else... Oh yeah, no, you can totally... Hey, Blues. Oh yeah, oh, it is actually, yeah. Have you guys not seen what happens when you fight here? Oh, I guess I'm actually taking some damage. I should probably put on actual equipment. You see? They just die from existing. Have you guys never done that before? Yeah, no, they just, like, perish. There we go. Yeah, no, it's... Again, you just, like, sit here. They shouldn't do actual damage to me now that I'm wearing gear. Oh, maybe they will. See, they try to cast, and they can't. They don't have any magic. And then they just die. Like, it's really sad. So I thought about, because I'm still working on my flute choir Final Fantasy VI album. I've thought about doing this song. But I'm worried it might be too boring. Oh, Demiurgic Pen, it had to get cancelled because of licensing complications. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but you get into complicated territory with that kind of thing. But like that organ part would be flutes. Oh wait, there's a bone dragon in the desert? Yeah, so like... Huh, interesting, okay. Oh, is it one of the dragons? But yeah, no, the creatures who live here are poisoned from the... I mean, just look, like the water is purple. The ground is like, everything is dying. So you can come out here and you can save. Okay. So anyone who doesn't know, this is called the Solitary Island. So he's like up, but he gets into bed. So if you get like a fish that isn't terrible. So if you look at this item, I think it's under rare, I think is what we want. Yes. Fish. Yeah, he's basically dying. So we accidentally save him. So you want to get the slow fish, not the fast fish, right? Bird. Oh, you can't even get this fish because it died. Oh, yeah, see, he doesn't get out of bed anymore. Oh, did it happen already? Oh, it did. Because I left. I like the way she falls over and starts screaming. And again, as a young person, you want to save him. You want to think you can save him. And so you're like out there trying to figure it out. And maybe if you realize that you can leave, maybe you've gone out and saved and you keep trying. And he doesn't have much, you don't have much time. So you have this one really sweet little moment with him. I think there might be more opportunities to talk to him that I missed. But you have this like little, this very, very brief glimpse at happiness before you instantly find out like, oh, he's sick. I need to try to save him. And so she very briefly has this like grandpa. And he very briefly has this granddaughter, and it's like these two very, in their own way, tragic lives. Because Sid is, as far as I can tell, not a terrible person. Kind of pulled into, I guess, the organization, like either he was born into the Empire or maybe conscripted. And I think he probably saw what happened to Kafka after he got the magicite infusion. And I think probably showed Celes some kindness as she was growing up. Because it doesn't really seem like Celes was raised like with a family, with a normal life. So, and if she was an experiment since birth, she would have to see Sid regularly, to like, you know, check on her progress and that sort of thing. Like a doctor with a child who has like a special health situation that has to be monitored. So it's, and you see him like the few times that Sid shows up in the game, he's a reasonably sympathetic character. So it's this kind of nice humanizing moment where we kind of get to know him and we can feel kind of sad. I mean, he spent an entire year taking care of her. She wasn't just some stranger. She's this person, like, he's known her since she was a child. He's had a hand in raising her. But they never quite had a relationship beyond that. And so you think of several days, because of course, like, everything is accelerated in games from this era. And so you have to kind of read into things a lot. But as a very, like, as a child with a very vivid imagination playing through this section, like, you have this, they aren't magic sensitive. They did experiments putting magic into exactly two people. Kafka and Celes. I don't believe anyone else had the magic experiment. So you have like magic tech where the technology has magic, but the only ones that actually have the ability to use magic, I believe, are those two. And the experiment went poorly with Kafka and it went well with Celes. But Celes was also a baby when they did it, whereas Kafka was not. Kafka was apparently an adult, which is probably part of it. Terra is half Esper, so her magic is actually natural to her. And those are the only three people who have magic in them, other than, I guess, you get the people from the Masa, where it's kind of complicated. But, where was I going with that? I was saying something and I've lost it, which happens. I lose my thoughts. But yeah, so like as a kid, you flesh out this scene in your head. You've got, you know, you see her nursing him over a period of like, you know, a couple of weeks or something, trying to get him to hold on, desperately trying to help, getting to know him, and you get invested in that. And you know Sid. You may not know him well, but you've seen him just enough prior to this that you feel like you know who he is and you kind of have a sense for his personality, and you read into the rest. Like, yes, I would love to see what this story and the characters in this could be like if they were fleshed out and given like space and time to breathe. And to have more than just like 3 lines of dialogue to develop a character or a relationship. Like, this would be so powerful. And to see her like sobbing. Like, they do so much, even though these animations that they're using are just stock animations that they have. They use them so well. So musically, again, this calls to mind the opera. If you look at this section right here, it calls to mind the opera visually as well. So what we were going to do with Project Esper, which unfortunately is not able to be licensed, but it wasn't going to work to have them go to an opera house because, like, it doesn't actually make any sense. Like, it's this big convoluted thing. So many things in this game are like, we want this really cool set piece. We want this really cool location. We want some cool scene, so we'll find an excuse to make it happen. But it doesn't, if you're trying to make like an actual story that actually functions, it doesn't work so well. But we still wanted to have the feeling of that, the drama of the opera. We wanted Celes to be able to sing an aria, and this is the scene that we were going to have be the aria. This was going to be it. Was going to be her on the cliff, which actually has precedence in actual operas. One of our lyricists is an actual professional opera singer who became a professional opera singer because she grew up with this game. I love that story. She pops into chat occasionally, but she was like, oh, like, is that Lucia de Lammermoor or something like that? She's like, oh, there's this one and this one and this one that, like, they have that kind of scene, so yeah, you're in good company. So that's what we would have done. So just so you know, if I write Final Fantasy VI, the fanfic, I'm gonna cut Ultros out. Because he doesn't make any sense. And do you think I can write the kind of comedy necessary to have Ultros in a story? I can't. Yeah, no, there's a lot of wacky humor. Yeah, no, if Annie were in here, if Annie is in here for some reason, you should raise your hand, Annie. She's probably not, though. She's probably got better things to do. She's popped by occasionally. So if you look at this, we have this, it's very reminiscent of, like, physically resembles that scene in the opera where she takes the flowers and goes up and throws the flowers. But here we have this dead bird, like this creature that should be like a symbol of hope, but instead even it has died. Like this is like the absolute lowest moment in the story. Like the lowest moment possible. Let us think about this, okay? Because how many games are really willing to go this hard in the direction of all is lost? Like, the bad guys literally destroyed the world. The entire planet is suffering. As far as we know, all of our friends, all of our party members are dead. The world is dying. Creatures on the shore are just dying from existing because this world is poisoned and it is poisoning them. You are all alone. As far as you know, you are literally the only person alive on the planet. You have this one brief connection with another character. You try to save him and you don't even succeed. You fail at that. And so thinking about, because you like the bad guys destroy the world is pretty rock bottom. But I think even in stories in which the bad guys destroy the world, we are still a unit of the good guys, and we still have each other, and then maybe we go and we like save the day. But we don't lose each other, so we have that. But not in this game. In this game you don't have that. In this game you have nothing. Celes has lost everything. Everything has ended. Just like it's so like profoundly tragic. And I do like that it doesn't then become easy. Like, I think sometimes stories cheapen out. Like, they'll kind of go there to where this goes, and they might dip their toes in and then be like, oh, yeah, but that's a little too hard and scary. So what if we instead made it okay? Okay, it's fine now. Oh, well, here's all your friends. Everything's great. The world is going to be fine. Everything's fine. Final Fantasy VI doesn't do that. It's never going to be fine. It'll be the best it can be now, but it's never going to be fine. And, like, it's actually really quite an accomplishment for a game for children in the era of Nintendo of America censoring everything, and we can't even say that characters are dead. We can't use the big bad death word. It's so interesting. Like the decision to make it go as dark as it's gone is just really, I don't know. Cause like, okay, so Final Fantasy IV is much more of a fairy tale. And like in Final Fantasy IV, there's like the times that you think the bad guys have won. Oh no, he's got all the crystals. Oh no, everything's bad. Oh, the entire planet is being threatened by my evil brother from the moon. You know, like... But it doesn't really resonate. Like, I would say, so quintet games are really, really dark, and I love quintet games for the darkness that they have. But quintet games always have a really, really bright streak of hope alongside the darkness and despair. And they're very much into the duality of light and dark, and the duality of life and death, and like the necessity of both sides of that. And I absolutely love that about the quintet games. But like, even when things are bad and the bad guys seem like they're winning, I don't think that, I don't know that quintet ever quite hits this level. The way, yes, that's right. Soul Blazer and ActRaiser are both quintet games. Well done, team. See, headcanon, I actually have some objections to that because, and this is something that I think would be handled better if they were to remake the game now. But at the time, I guess due to like limitations of time and space and so on, and maybe also technological limitations, the flagging isn't very good. So they couldn't have very many scenes that depended on which characters you had in your party. To me, the characters are such an important part of this game. Like, the characters are really the heart and soul of the game. And so I feel like, because I've heard a lot of people complaining about the World of Ruin over the years, and I think that those complaints, as for all that I defended this game vehemently, when people said they didn't like it because of the World of Ruin. I used to get very upset. I had a number of friends who said that. I also can't entirely disagree with them, because making it non-linear means that they can't make it depend on who's in your party, which means that the characters don't really interact with each other, because who knows who's in your party at that time. And I think that's a shame. And there's some of that in the World of Ruin, where there's scenes where the dialogue is just in quote marks, basically, because anyone could say it. And I think that's really a shame, because, again, I think the characters are what makes this game so good. And so kind of losing the character interaction and the character development loses a lot. So as incredibly cool as the experiences of having to go and find your friends, of listening for rumors, wandering around listening for rumors and thinking, that sounds like that might be Sabin. That sounds like that might be Setzer. Like, that's so cool, and I love that. And it's interesting because, like, the older games, like Phantasy Star 1, for example, you have to talk to the townspeople to kind of get an idea of, oh, there's some weapon that I might be able to use against the final boss in, like, that's rumored to be in this place. I guess I'll go do that, rather than being told where to go. And that's really interesting when done well. Yeah, see, Blue Glass, they could have done it. And I think that would be what they should do, personally. I think if you're going to make the decision to make your game non-linear and have it be a character-driven game, you, in my opinion, you have to write about those characters in that non-linear story. And yes, it is extra work, but by choosing to make it non-linear, you chose to give yourself that extra work. But I do think it is really cool. Like, at this point, you don't know, is anyone alive? You're like, my entire party might be dead. Everyone is dead. Sid just died. The animals are dying. Everything is dying. The world is dying. I might be the last person alive. And now I'm stuck all alone. Completely solitary here. Even this bird. So here's a little memory of something that Sid said. See, I wouldn't like to see Final Fantasy VI done in a Trials of Mana engine. I would like to see it done like Final Fantasy VII Remake. If you're going to remake it, go all the way. Make it fully three-dimensional and make the characters look relatively realistic, because it's a very serious and dramatic story. It doesn't need to get the obnoxious anime treatment. It needs to be treated seriously. And I would love to see that. Honestly. I would love to see it fleshed out. I would love to see the dialogue being given room to breathe. I would love to see the characters' stories explored. Oh, I would be really happy if Yoshi P did it. He's so great. He's taken things that were bad and made them good. Just think of what he could do with something that started good. That would be amazing. Yeah, there you go. Alright, Square Enix, if you're watching Square Enix, I have amended my request. No, not request, my demand. You should still make a Final Fantasy VI remake, and you should still hire me to write it. But Yoshi P should be the director. Make it so. Alright, let's get Square Enix on board. Uh-oh, I accidentally unplugged my screen. Hold on. I keep doing that. Yeah, I'm sure they will. I'll be like, this random girl that we just magically knew about, who's never written a game in her life. Okay. So, I was a child playing this game, And I took this line literally. And I thought that was literally what happened. Perked him right up. Apparently other people had the same misconception. Like, when they were feeling down, they'd take a leap of faith from the cliffs, and they'd feel better. Like, it's such an absurd decision to translate it. Like, I understand, Ted Woolsey, you're not allowed to say the word death in this game. So, I don't think that it's supposed to be sarcasm from Sid. I don't know why. You think so? I could never figure out once I realized what actually happened here, because so my sister, who is 2.5 years older than me, when we played this game, we were young enough that was a substantial age difference. So my sister saw this and was like, ah. I did not. I was like, what, 11 at the time, I think. When did this game come out? 95? Was this 95? It was 11. Anyway, it would not have occurred to me. Oh, I was 10. So I was young enough that I didn't know. I had no context for that. And my sister actually laughed at me. Because she said something about Sully's trying to kill herself, and I was like, what? No. She's like the other people. I was like, no, they jump off and then they feel better. And my sister was like, oh my God, Lauren. I'm like, that's what he said. That's what Sid said. It is what Sid said. So, no, we played it right when it came out. Yeah, no, it's such an interesting and strange decision. Like, are we supposed to be, as the players, old enough and mature enough to read this as an ironic statement that perked him right up? Because this is not an appropriate point for humor, and I don't think there was humor in the original. Like, I'm pretty sure in the original set, like the Japanese version, and so a more accurate translation, which I think the Game Boy Advance has, I'm pretty sure Sid is like, when they couldn't take it anymore, they leapt from the cliff, and then there was no one else. I'm pretty sure that's what the official dialogue in the better translation says. So I don't know why Ted did this. There are other things you could have done, Ted. There are ways you could have cleaned it up some. And but see, I don't know that that's actually a good. I don't know that that's. I mean, do you think that's what he intended? Do you think he wanted it to be something that kids didn't get and adults did get? Because I don't think that this game was... Yeah, like, I feel like seeing people climb to the top of this cliff when they felt they lost all hope. Like, I think that is that... Yeah, I agree with that deep shock. I think that would have been much better, and he could have just not said anything else. Not had to use a euphemism, and also not directly said that they died. But this is the decision that he made. It is a strange decision. And I did not get it as a child. I had no idea. Yeah, I read something that was an interview with him about the translation of this game, and I want to say it said something about this, but I don't remember what it said, so... And like, also might I point out it's canonical, guys. My OTP is canonical. The world's slowly ebbing away, dying. The world is dying. She looks, she thinks about it, and she literally gives into despair. Like, how many games have a character literally try to commit suicide in the game? Because that's what happens. Celes loses all hope. She has lost everything and has no hope. No hope. Absolute rock bottom despair. And as a player, you come to the point where you have like all you have is your character, and then your character dies, you think perhaps, and you're just like, what do I do? It's such an intense thing. Yeah, the tears, it's just so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Like, it is honestly, as heart-wrenching as that scene was, and as incredibly dark as that scene is, it's also absolutely beautiful. It's very dramatic, very gorgeously artistically rendered. And so when I was a kid, I thought she was talking to the bird. She's actually talking to Sid. She's like, because like what she's mad at Sid there because she's like, why did you save me? If I'm gonna die anyway, if there's no hope, why did you even save me? Why didn't you just let me die? I can't even kill myself, right? That's her sentiment there, and it's wonderful. It's such a good character moment. It's such a good bit of dialogue that she lands on this and is furious that she's still alive. She's furious that she has to suffer alone. And then you don't even know 100% sure if this is actually Locke's bandana or if she thinks it's Locke's bandana. But that's all she needs. By the way, I've illustrated this scene too. I did an illustration for my former bandmate Amanda's song about Celes, because she has a song from Celes' point of view, and I did an illustration of Celes finding the bandana for her. Yeah, because like, it doesn't even matter if it is actually Locke's bandana. She has hope. And up until this point, like, we have experienced this absolute hopelessness with like literally no idea whether anything is better. And she has this one little thing to hold on to that maybe, just maybe, there's something to live for out there. And like, it's just this like stunning decision to have your only character, your main character for this part of the game, give in to absolute despair and hopelessness. And she's already kind of predisposed to that sort of thing in the first half of the game. I think she's kind of always given up on herself. The entirety that we know her, like the entirety of the time that we know her, she's like, and I know I've said this before, but I'm just gonna keep talking about it. She has given up on herself. She doesn't care what happens to her as long as she can try to stop bad things from happening. She's like, well, my life is forfeit, but can I try to save somebody or something else along the way? And she hasn't gotten like, this is actually the point that Celes gets hope. I don't actually think that Celes has hope properly at all in the world of balance, you know? Like, when Locke doubts her, even then there's just this kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? She's not surprised. She's hurt but not surprised. She's like, ah, yes, this is how it would go. And it's just, I don't know. She like never expects to be welcomed. She doesn't expect anyone to be her friend or care about her. She doesn't expect that she's going to actually be able to save the world or make a difference. She's like, yeah, nobody's going to like me. Nobody's going to be my friend or care about me. And I'm probably going to die trying and utterly fail at doing what I'm going to do. But I'm still going to try to do it because it's the right thing to do. And then she's the one who winds up in this situation. And loses whatever shreds of partial hope she had. God, she's so cool. She has so many cool scenes. Like her scene on the floating continent where she fights Kefka is so cool. Yeah, well, like when Cyan is mad at her, she doesn't even like defend herself about it, you know? Like, if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure that like Locke is like, she's different, but she's just like, okay, you hate the Empire, yeah, okay. You're gonna hate on me, okay. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't know. I love Sully's. This is definitely the Sully's appreciation playthrough. And this is why when people are like, Terra's the main character, I'm like, partly. There is a lot of Terra's story and development and arc in the first game that drives the plot and the emotional depth of things. But this is very much Sully's story. And people who are like, Locke's the main character, and I'm like, really? He's my boy. I love him dearly. Very, very much. But no. He's not the main character, even remotely. Sully's, though. Man, I love her so much. She's such a great character. Just, like, look at her. Yeah, Deep Shock. Like, I love him dearly, but he's not... His eyes are still open. So you love Granddad. Okay, it is what it is. I respect your right to have an opinion on the subject, but I disagree with it fiercely. I mean, if you really want, I can go off on Locke's personality and why he's such an essential part of the cast due to his really interesting relationships with the other characters and how he, through his own emotional vulnerability, encourages emotional vulnerability in the other characters, and how essential that is to the emotional development of the characters and our emotional experience in the story. Oh, man. Anyway. I have feelings. I have very big feelings. And Locke Cole is a big part of that. So it's cute, like the letter he says, he signs it Granddad. So he says, basically, if you save him, he's like, oh, I built this raft. You should go get it. Have fun. I thought the stairs were here. Ah, there we go. He made a raft. Actually, I think the others made a raft. I think the idea is some of them made a raft, but they had so much to spare they never used it. So Alice is like, well... it's so sweet. Like, I like to think of them having like a couple of weeks to get to know each other, you know? She's never had family. Like, she's never had family. She was raised by the Empire to be the perfect soldier. Sid is the closest thing she's ever had to family. And it's... I don't know. It is really sweet. Like, she wants the things that she assumed she would never have. You know? Like, Sully's never says, I want to know what love is, but I think she wants, you know, love and friendship and hope and all of those, like, necessary things to live. I mean, she's also been bedbound for a year, so she doesn't necessarily... She probably has, like, some muscle atrophy. Which, fortunately, all the animals in the world have muscle atrophy, too, so... Here we go. I absolutely respect that people... I prefer to save Sid in most playthroughs. If I were just casually playing this game on my own, I would save Sid. But we are playing through this game to talk about the characters and the story and the feelings in the game. And I feel like saving Sid is for your second playthrough. I feel like saving Sid is a satisfying experience when you know kind of what the real story is, but you want it to be happier. And I think that... it's good to... I'm glad the scene exists for people, because if you're going to put power in the player's hands to either save him or not, I think that it is necessary to have the option to save him. Because I think you can go back to the solitary island once you get the airship. I think you can go back, because I think you can go back and talk to him later if he's still alive. Oh! And there's actually something there besides just Sid. Having the player have that agency makes it a more impactful moment. Because it's not just that you're watching the scene happen. It's that you're involved. And it's not just that, sorry, I'm trying to think of how to say this. Sully's despair is your despair. Because Sully's failure to save Sid is your failure to save Sid. And so it means more. Because you're doing it instead of observing it. And that's part of the power. It's part of the power of interactive storytelling. Letting you feel like you are involved. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to actually have the power to change what happens. Like, if no matter what you did, Sid died, still having you be involved in that story is really interesting, and makes it more meaningful. Because people are like, why couldn't, if this is a good story, why couldn't it just be a book? Why couldn't it just be a movie? And like, even like super linear experiences, people are like, why couldn't it, well, if it's linear, why couldn't it just be a book? And for the most part, it couldn't. I mean, I love Final Fantasy VI. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I love it dearly. We've talked a lot about the things it does well. If it were a book, the story would not hold up. It's very compelling for a game story of its era. But you'd have to make some major changes to make it function. So its story, in my opinion, the storytelling in Final Fantasy VI isn't good enough to be a book or a movie. And I say this with all the love in my heart for this game. Like, I hope that you guys haven't made it this many hours through the game with me and think that I don't love this game dearly and have great respect for what it does well. But a lot of what makes it powerful is the interactivity. And it's not non-linearity, it's not branching dialogue that makes interactivity more compelling and more involving for the player. And I think that that's kind of a mistake that people make sometimes in thinking that the only way to get the player invested is by letting the player actually have choices, which a lot of times the choices are empty. Like, frankly, so much of branching dialogue, it doesn't really matter what you choose, just because it would very quickly become exponentially too much dialogue to write if every bit of optional dialogue in, for example, a BioWare game actually made a difference. But that isn't the interactivity that really makes people connect with characters, by and large. Like, there are people who somehow only manage to feel involved in a story if they get to have the illusion of choice and the illusion of playing a character that is their own character. And for them, I could just say, like, okay, I'm glad you like BioWare. But for most of the time, and I think this is something people don't realize that it works on them necessarily, when you play a game with characters and you start talking about what happens, you talk about, we did this, I did this. And even if your characters have predetermined personalities and dialogue, by playing as them, you feel a connection to them that you wouldn't if you were just reading a book. And it's not necessarily identify with, but to feel as though you are. Like, some people are like, I can't connect with the story unless I am the player. And I'm like, I'm sorry that you don't like books and movies then, or most games. Yes, BioWare's illusion of choice is pretty shallow. And for some people it really works, and more power to them. It takes all kinds to make a world. No, I do actually want to play Dragon Age with the romance novel dwarf sass pants. I want to play that because I think I would like the dialogue. But having you walk around as the character and you walk around in the world makes you feel connected to and involved with, if you were doing nothing more than walking on a line, choosing to talk to people right now. So, like, I mean, if we start talking about tabletop role-playing games, that's like a whole other thing. But, oh god, and like character bleed, there's fun. Oh my goodness, I can talk about character bleed in tabletop RPGs. Whew. But, so even in a walking sim, or a narrative exploration game, or whatever other name people choose to give them, the interactivity of walking around as that person, and looking at things as that person, and talking to people as that person, even if you don't get to choose dialogue, you still feel like this becomes your story, because you kind of are playing that person. And I think that's super cool. And no other... Oh, Baten Kaitos. My sister loves that game. I've thought about giving it a try, if only so I can talk to her about it. But I think I'm more likely to play Monkey Island 3 to have something to talk to her about. Oh, okay, so John, the canonical ending? Not the canonical ending. The canonical answer to that question is Barum, Shadow's friend. But the fanon answer to that is that Get Go-Go is Daryl. I like that. I don't think it's supported by the text being the game. I don't think it actually makes any sense within what we're giving in the game, but I like it from a narrative perspective. I really like it a lot. Yeah, so the clues that you're given are in, I think, one of Shadow's dreams. You see something says, because So there's Barum and Clyde. And so Barum says, Clyde, find me here, and it plays the Zone Eater sound, which only happens on Triangle Island, the island where Go-Go is found. So that's a hint. Yes, because there's no other reason for that dream to exist unless they're trying to tell you that. Unless, like, he went there and died. In which case, why? Why even? And maybe it's not, you know, maybe it's not. I think that's the only clue. I'm not sure. If there's anything else. That's just the one that pops into my head. I'm not actually a font of wisdom and a catalog of everything about Final Fantasy VI, but I do know that there is a line that Barum says, Clyde, find me here, and it plays the Zone Eater sound. So, considered, or at least was at one point in the fandom, considered canon for Barum to be Go-Go. But everyone just wrote Daryl being Go-Go in their fanfic because that's so much better, guys, isn't it? You just, like, think about the tragedy. The beautiful tragedy and melodrama. How wonderful. Everything needs tragedy and melodrama as much as possible. Okay, I swear I'm not making this up. Like, if none of you guys knew this, then I'm, like, beginning to doubt myself. But I'm pretty sure of it. I'm pretty sure that it's there. Okay, Axel knew it. Okay, it's me and you, buddy. We're the only ones. Bye, Demiurgic Pen. Thanks for joining. I did participate in the fandom for a while. I don't know that we're older than the other people in the audience, Axel. Besides, I'm older than you. So if you say you're old, I'm a dinosaur. Okay, well, if nobody else has explored deeply into Final Fantasy VI lore, then that makes me feel a little better because I have I have dug deep into Final Fantasy VI lore. I know it a lot. Oh my goodness! Okay. I'm not actually the oldest person here. I might be close, but I'm not quite. That's so exciting. A lot of the people who hang out in other streams tend to be like in their mid-20s. Like, okay. Yeah, no, so one of my very first experiences on any sort of online thing was there was the FFRPG, which was a play-by-post game that was all of the Final Fantasies have smashed together in the world of Final Fantasy VI. That was on Telnet. Like, it was a Usenet group. So that was a while ago. It's one of the first things I ever got involved in. One of the first things I ever did online. And I was really heavily into it. And that was the first time I encountered the Daryl is Go-Go thing, because our Go-Go was Daryl, or our Daryl was Go-Go. So much drama. There was so much melodrama in that game. It was amazing. I played an original character named Alin. Alin. The fun thing about Alin is I came up with her when I was in like 6th grade. And had all of this like dumb stuff that I didn't explain. It was very mysterious. And then I disappeared for a couple of years. And then I came back as like an 8th grader. And rejoined. And by that point, they'd, I think, moved off of Usenet and actually had like perhaps a proper forum. Forums were newer in those days instead of being very old as they are now. And so I looked at what I had come up with when I was like 11, and I was like, can I save this now that I'm like 14 or 13 or something like that? I bet I can make this better. And so I had to like come up with explanations for things. It was very unnecessarily tragic and dramatic, and she'd been like some sort of like a science experiment or something. So she had like blue blood and blue hair, and I don't know, folks, but she was my OC. Do not steal. I did some fan art of her. And I had a co-author who wrote our characters wound up hanging out a lot together. We had a lot of chapters we wrote together. But there was some interpersonal drama that I missed when I left. And I came back and I found his character, because his character had these shoes that made him run super fast, so he was a courier. But then because there was interpersonal drama, he decided to kill off his character, so he basically ran himself into non-existence. I don't know, it was funny. He actually wrote for the GIA, the Gaming Intelligence Agency, or Gaming Information Agency, whatever it was, when I was in high school. And I remember seeing his name on some of the articles there, because he was in college, because he was several years older than me. And I wrote him, and I was like, wait, are you the same guy who played Seb? And he was like, oh my god, what the heck? I think I actually reached out to him at some point when I joined Video Game Cover Band, and then I was on Facebook and found him and was like, hey buddy, remember when we were children writing dumb stories together? Yeah. And some of the people involved with it apparently were connected to OCR later. But yeah. I would love to encounter some of the people who wrote for that. I should see whether any of my current, my friends, any of my current VGM friends wrote for that. That would be hilarious. Because they would know who I was, because I wasn't one of the main central characters. I was just some dumb kid off to the side. But I would love to find out the person who wrote Edgar who got possessed by Lich. It was very traumatic, very tragic. Oh, loved it. Good stuff, man, good stuff. Maybe we shouldn't go there. Oops. It's probably a bad idea. I probably should have healed. They don't want to fight me. Bye. Yeah, so this was somebody else that I was introducing to the game who was upset at the World of Ruin and stopped playing. I did go right past the town. No, that's true. Okay, so you can't do that. You can't even walk into that and be like, oh, I can't do that. Alright, well... hopefully I don't die. No, I'm gonna die. Didn't go so well. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should equip an Esper. Are there any Espers left for me to equip? Oh man, there's a lot of them. Gosh. Oh man, why didn't I have Mad One equipped? Somebody else had, I guess. Alright, there it is. I'm gonna save now that I've actually healed myself. I'm very good at video games. But yeah, oh man. Why haven't I done a cover of this yet with friends? Why haven't I covered this? And like the Spanish guitar. Good times. Music. I did see that tower. This is nice. It tells you kind of what you've missed. Like, oh, that doesn't sound good. I don't think I want that. I should probably get a sleeping bag. Okay. Got a couple of sleeping bags. Hello. So they actually mean is, I see you have hope in your eyes. I saw someone else with hope in his eyes recently. That's what they mean. And you're like, I'm still seeing a party. Maybe my friends aren't all dead. Atmo weapons. I don't think Barum becoming Kefka makes any sense. Because... Hey! What's up, Kevin? This game. We very slowly got here eventually. Hey! You want to cover this? Can you do that Spanish guitar thing? The 8 dragons. They're bad news. Gotta catch them all. Okay, let's do it. I'll find somebody to play the other. Oh man, do you think Wedge would play? Do you think Wedge would record melodica for us for the other woodwind instrument? Yeah, well, cause like Kefka's been Kefka for at least 18 years because Celes is 18 years old, and Realm is younger than 18. So that means that Barum can't have been Kefka because Kefka's been Kefka for longer than Realm's been alive. So. Green beret. That's what I thought. I saw a beret. I was like, I thought that was a green beret. Okay, and then there's a red hat, which also, like a red helmet or something like that, that also does it. Look. I played Frog Fractions 3. And I broke it enough. The guy who made the game reached out to me to ask me if I would playtest something for him. I'm good at games. Anyway, I think I'm funny. I want the green beret. Probably somebody should have it. Yeah, I was really amused by that. He and I had been like Twitter mutuals for a while, so I guess he dropped by because occasionally people drop by when I play their games, apparently. Listen to me just ramble. Like, the first time, I guess, that Scott Benson came by my Night in the Woods stream, I was just talking about Final Fantasy VI. Oh, because I like this game, guys. I like it. Did you know? I like it. It's a good game. Okay, good. Axel knew. No, that will never come back. We will never go fight a bunch of... Why do the things that happen in this game happen? Kevin, I was talking about writing Final Fantasy VI fanfic. Are there any any of these that I don't own? God, I've got so many earrings. I actually have a bunch of earrings. Lethal glove, what does that do? No, I don't care about that. Jewel ring. Dark is useless. Petrify's not that bad, okay. Yeah, that dude clearly doesn't know #1 rule of portraits for rich people. I did actually write a little bit back in the day. I wrote a tiny fanfic. And then I was working on writing a radio play, musical theater radio play, audio drama of it, but that got canceled, unfortunately. That would have been really cool if it had happened, though. John Bart, because you can't really say no when the Emperor asks you to, or he might just have you and all of your family horrendously murdered. So nobody else thinks about, like, oh yeah, when the soldiers took over our town, that was great. But this guy was like, man, I made so much money. They're like, hey, if you don't remember that this is that place. I'm like, no, I do remember that place, the cafe. Well, no, but that guy was hired to make the painting for the Emperor when the Emperor was alive, and then he said the Emperor didn't like it. Okay, Deep Shock. In theory, know. I know. I don't actually think I could. Wait, no, Tobacco, that's on the west side, right? that's west of town, right? I think. I am still learning. It's actually funny. My roommate will reference like something, and then she'll look at me, and I'll like be looking blankly at her, and she's like, "So that's a small town in like southern Ontario, somewhere else." I'm like, I see. I don't know my way around super well yet. Okay, well, we'll do that then. We are gonna go get Sabin. It's very specific. It's funny. You look just like him. I was like, that's a strange thing to say. Oh, is Crusader, an everybody area damage, a friendly fire? Maybe. I think that they just mean that you have hope and nobody else has hope. I'd rather take an acid bath. That's just so incredibly vivid. What a word choice. Hey, look, guys, it's the bridge. A little bit different now, huh? I used to think that's the same bridge. Should I draw that fan art again? Kefka made his tower out of trash. Oh, is it Death Gaze normally? Oh. Okay. So we're going to send. This is way too many dudes. I'm gonna run for these dudes. See, this is why I'm running from these dudes. Run, Celis, run! Okay, good. We ran. Ran so far away. Skills. Magic. Cure. Should probably have more than one. think this is where I'm going. Is this where I'm going? Although I should be shutting down shortly. Yeah, this is where I'm going. It's above sea level. Yeah, like everything. Okay. Actually, I should probably shut down rather than do this. This is slower than we play it, Kevin. These runs would actually not be that hard at this speed. But then we go into the boss theme instead of this. We play it faster than this, Kevin. Why? Why did I do that? How did we... I'm gonna blame John. I think we should blame John. Especially if it's faster on the album. Oof. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna insist that we play this slower. So I can play the right notes! Because I play the runs on this. It was Chroma Squad at CGF. That wasn't the time that Justin had an energy drink. We've told our drummer. By the way, those of you who don't know, Red 192 is my bandmate Kevin, our guitarist. Which is why I'm like, wait a minute, because my band plays this song as part of our medley. Our drummer's not allowed to have energy drinks before shows anymore. We learned that the hard way. Before we played the Undertale medley, though, I looked over at him to like try to be like, ah, because it has this crazy hard and super fast part for the bass, and I was like, our bassist's arms are just gonna fall off. Oh man, and then he had like his like little like heartbeat tracker thingy, his pulse tracker, and it we could see the spike. Oh, that's why. And he played in one of the other bands that was playing that night too. We were all just like, oh yeah, that was fun. So now I give him a hard time sometimes. Yeah, I know, Axel, too. Okay, we probably aren't gonna actually... Like, you can't do this. No, sorry, dude. This is why I just saved, though. Yeah, no, that was good times. That's right, we're gonna have... So, the rest of you guys don't get to sit in on this because you're not in the band, but we have, I think there's still a few parts that need to be filled in, but album number 2 is almost done. So we're gonna listen through it, which means I should get started on the cover art. But yeah, so like the album's in good shape. I did play the aria for you guys, didn't I? Yeah, Stolen Light. We made it to the World of Ruin. We made it through, because the secret to getting past the floating continent is just don't fight anything. And if you do have to fight something, hit it really hard with a sword. That's what you do. It's the way to do it. Oh, Karsten! Karsten recorded some of our first big performances, and that's part of why, if you guys saw our first PAX performance on YouTube, it's because of Karsten. Thank you, Karsten. Yeah. Oh, Oh, that reminds me, speaking of shows, oh, hey, Kenny. Yes, Sid had to die for drama. It's a better story if Sid dies, even if it's also sad. Bye, John Bart. So I am going to be doing another concert, in two weeks, the week from Saturday. The people, the folks that host the Florida show that brought the band out last year, the guy in charge of that has started up a virtual series of shows because obviously shows in person aren't happening right now. So I'm going to be playing for his first one of those because he wanted to work with people he's worked with before. So that'll be happening, and I might do some more Final Fantasy VI related stuff because it's the spirit of my band. So yeah, I'll talk more about that, but that's coming up. And I guess I'll be streaming it from here and he'll be hosting it. Or not hosting it, but like rebroadcasting it. So you'll get a notification about it. Bye, Chrono. Yeah, I'm gonna shut down. We're gonna not get crushed next week. I accidentally triggered this scene, but I have to go and do other stuff tonight. I promised a friend I would meet up with him. Virtually hang out. Good night, Chrono. Thank you for coming by. But yeah, so this was a very exciting stream. We got some stuff done. We wrecked the world. Oops, that's the wrong one. No. There we go. That's better. We smashed the world. The world is smashed. Not doing so great. Next week we'll try to pick up fixing some of what went wrong. Get some party members and have some melodrama. And we'll think about playing Suikoden on stream, apparently, if you guys want more of the non-blind streaming to continue. Yes. I couldn't walk away. The villager yelled at me. Oh my gosh. Permanent Violet. Oh, I'm about to shut down. Thank you for raiding, though. Looks like there's a Sephiroth there. Oh, thank you, guys. Man, I'm sorry. I was just about to shut down, but I guess I'll go ahead and give you guys a little bit of like a hello and welcome. I'm Lauren. I have been playing through Final Fantasy VI. Normally I do blind streams, but I haven't been doing blind streams on this. This is one of my favorite games of all time. I, in fact, have a video game cover band named The Returners. Well, thank you, Permanent Violet. I guess I'll have to figure out who to raid from here. I wonder if either Brenneman or Doug is on. Yeah, so Final Fantasy VI is one of my favorite games of all time, and so this has been my stream to talk a whole lot about the characterization in Final Fantasy VI and the thematic directions that they take. Oh man. Okay, well, in that case, Permanent Violet, I'm glad that you came after I closed it, because I don't know where you are in it, but I have been having a huge spoilerific conversation, because this is a game that I know and love so much. Like, basically from the beginning, I've tried to warn people during this playthrough there will be spoilers, because I'm going to talk about, so this scene that's happening here is connected to this thing that's happening later. If you think about this, that's kind of my jam. So, I'm glad you're loving it. Like, I wonder sometimes, like, because it's such an old game, like how people are going to respond to it if they've never played it before. Are you playing the Game Boy Advance or the Super Nintendo version? I'm emulating the Super Nintendo version because I own it, and that's the translation I know, but it's as I say, it's an idiosyncratic one. Oh, excellent. Are you doing that? I have a lot of love for that. Oh man. Thank you. Thank you, Gaggle of Geese. Thank you so much. Man, so your first... Oh, it's the oldest game you've played. Oh, interesting. See, I played it back when it first came out. And it was a very formative experience for baby Lauren. I loved it very, very, very much. Like I was saying, here, actually, you guys want to hear, since you're new here, let me go ahead. I'm gonna do it, folks. Give me a sec. I'm going to play for you my band. Have you done the aria yet? Have you gotten to the opera house? Hold on, let me find this. Where is it? Have you gotten to the opera house yet? You have? Okay. Then I'm going to share with you, if you don't mind, my band, the Returners, named, yes, for the rebellion. Okay, that's not it. Hold on. We cover the aria, so I'm going to play it for you now. This is from our second album that we're working on. So you're going to have to listen to this now. You guys don't have to, but you can if you want to. Super Nintendo lyrics. Kevin, are you still there? I kind of am an opera floozy, I guess. Thank you, Permanent Violet. Did Kevin leave? He's our guitarist. He's been hanging out in chat. That's the flute, by the way, in my name. The Woolsey lyrics actually don't fit the song meter. They're so hard to sing. It's much easier to sing the Game Boy Advance version. I will demonstrate in a minute if you guys don't mind. As much to you, so gently you touch my heart. I will be forever yours. Come what may, I won't hesitate. So, like, one thing you gotta know about me is that I really like melodrama and tragedy. So we kind of melodrama that up. Yeah, so that's gonna be on our second album that we're working on right now. It's taken us 5 years to make it, but it's gonna happen. But you know, so the lyrics are really, they're hard to sing. They don't scan quite right, and the syllables of them are hard. I don't know that I can sing up that high right now because it's 10 p.m. and I don't want my neighbors or my roommate to hate me. But like, oh, my hero, so far away now, will I ever see your smile? just a fading dream. I'm the darkness. Let's see. Hold on. Let me get the Game Boy Advance lyrics. Okay. Final Fantasy fandom site. Where's the other? Yes. Oh, my hero, my beloved, shall we still be made to part? So, is much easier to sing than I. So, part is much easier to hold than smile. The promises of perennial love yet sing here in my heart. Like you hear, it's much easier to sing. It's much singy friendlier. Anyway, I love that game and I love the music. I've been having a hard time writing lately. I've been really stumped for actually a couple of years. It's been a lot going on in my life and the world. So we were joking today as I was playing through the game. I might start writing Final Fantasy VI fanfic, which I've actually never really done. I did a little tiny bit way back in the day. But for all that I have friends who write fanfic, I've never really gotten into that. But I've thought about doing that. Yeah, it's a Master of Fine Arts. I have a Master of Fine Arts in creative writing. It's just to say I'm not a very practically minded person and I got advanced education in writing stories. I actually did the Stone Coast program through the University of Southern Maine. It's a low residency program with a popular fiction focus. So I could do science fiction and fantasy, which is my jam. I got into a more straight program, the Texas State program, but decided that rather than being the genre ghetto, I would go to a place where Jim Kelly, who wrote Think Like a Dinosaur, could be my thesis mentor. It was pretty great. Oh man, I don't know if I know Marco. What was Marco like pop fic or poetry or lit fic? See, a programming degree is much more practical. No, my undergrad was literature, and then I became a copywriter. Now I work full-time in marketing. But my heart is fiction, and I really want to get back into writing fiction. And I've been so stuck for so long. And I'm like, maybe I will turn my obsessive love for Final Fantasy VI, even if it's just like a little fanfic. I don't know what I would write. Yeah, it's amazing what you can do with a degree. Psychology seems like it would be useful anytime you have to do any sort of interpersonal thing. Yeah. So I guess, yeah, so those of you who randomly rated, there's games, there's music, there's wild misadventures. We have creative sprints where we write, where we all work on stuff together, and I set a timer and we work in bursts of things, which I think I'm going to switch from Monday mornings to Monday evenings or afternoons, perhaps. So we'll see how that goes. Non-fic, okay. Yeah, I pretty much stayed in pop fic, except I took one residency in Ireland where they kind of smashed up everybody. And that was actually really fun. But yeah. Yes, no, I'm really slow at playing video games. They call me a sponge runner, the opposite of a speed runner, because I go very slowly and think about everything in the story and then go off on really long tangents about everything imaginable. In the case of Final Fantasy VI, I started playing it on my birthday in January. We've taken breaks, but I started streaming it as a birthday present to myself. I think we spent 3 hours getting through the first half hour because I kept playing along with every song on my flute. Yeah, I got my MFA a few years ago. Finished writing my master's thesis novel, which I need to rewrite. Got 120,000 words into it. It probably needs to be broken into 2 books. But then life fell apart for me. Over a series of years, the wheels kept falling off more and more. Yeah, now I'm the opposite of a speedrunner, although I did suplex the Phantom Train, which I'm told qualifies my playthrough of Final Fantasy VI as a speedrun, no matter what else I do. Bye, Deep Shock. Thanks for joining us. Excellent, Violet. That's very important. Yeah, suplexing the train is important. So yeah, I'm playing this every Tuesday. So if a Violet is also playing this, then we can be Final Fantasy VI Tuesday buddies. There is a clip of me suplexing the train, I think. I feel like that's something people are morally obligated, perhaps one might say contractually obligated to clip. I haven't gone through my clips for this game in a bit, but it's probably there. And then Thursdays we're playing through Celeste. And then, so I was telling people there's going to be a concert, not this Saturday, but next Saturday night that I will be part of. And I will be hosting, oh yeah, so my 5-year stream anniversary is coming up. And I've been thinking about, I was going to try to do a medley of music from every single game that I've beaten on stream, which would be a lot. And I haven't actually started on the medley, so it might not happen, or it might. Maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow. Natalie, so Kent from Ongaku Overdrive, the Florida guy, he is starting to do a Virtua Overdrive series. And he wanted to start with people who he's had out for shows in the past, and I was the available member of the returners that he asked. So that's going to be happening. It's me, Shy Guy. I think he's got one or both of the Guitar Bros, and I don't remember who else. But I'm still trying to figure that out. I want to do, because I was going to do for my stream anniversary, I was going to do a concert with my friends. But then people were like, what if you did a medley of things from all of the games you played? And I was like, I don't know how, but okay, maybe. But that's going to be so much work, guys. I don't know if I can do it. Like, that's like a couple dozen games to have a couple of measures each. And I don't know if I can do it. Something's making noise. Somebody's out there. Outside, being loud. Let me show you my cat. Do you guys want to see the cat? Bye, Violet! Thank you so much. Hopefully I'll see you around. Maybe I'll poke in and see how you're doing with your game. There's the cat. The cat is hanging out with us. Bye, Gaggle Goose. Thank you guys so much for joining. Yeah, why don't we go ahead and take this hype train and go raid my friend Doug if he's still on, because he does video game music and he's one of the best musicians I've ever known in my life. So let's see, can we do this? Can we raid? Let's do that. All right, you guys ready? We're gonna raid Doug Drum Ultima. So let's go do that. You ready? All right, see you guys soon. Take care. I'll see you next week. Unless it's Thursday for Celeste. Yes. Bye, folks. Thank you.